The news is out there. Adrian Newey, the most legendary designer in F1 history, has officially taken over as the team principal of Aston Martin. But is this actually true? Or is this merely a stopgap solution? A calculated move designed to keep the seat warm for a man whose return would send shockwaves through the entire paddock? Yes, I am talking about Christian Horner. New reports are now suggesting that Adrian Newey's appointment as team boss is not the final chapter of this story. Instead, it is a placeholder move to keep the door open for Christian Horner to not only return to Formula One, but to potentially join Aston Martin as its CEO and co-owner. Remember, Andy Cowell is not just some random hire. This is the engineering mastermind who built the dominant Mercedes hybrid engines. When Aston Martin hired him to replace Mike Krack as team principal starting in 2025, it was seen as a coup. But barely a year into his tenure, the news has broken that Cowell is being moved aside. He is no longer the team principal. Instead, he has been shifted to the role of Chief Strategy Officer. Now, anyone who understands corporate F1 speak knows exactly what this means. When a high-profile team principal is suddenly moved to a vague strategy role that isn't related to race strategy, it is often a polite way of saying gardening leave in disguise. The reports confirm this is not a pit wall role, it's a backroom position looking at the business future. The question is, why? This is where Adrian Newey enters the picture. According to the latest reports, Cowell joined the team before Newey did. But when Newey arrived, he didn't just come as an employee, he came as a managing technical partner and a co-owner. He has a vested interest in the team. This created a massive power imbalance. You had Cowell, an engine man who wanted to run things by the book, and Newey, a creative genius with ownership stakes. Reports suggest that Cowell's vision for how the team should be run clashed with Newey's. And in F1, when the star designer, who is also an owner, disagrees with the manager, the owner always wins. Cowell being sidelined proves who really holds the power at Aston Martin. But here is the massive twist. Once Cowell was removed, who took the title of team principal? Adrian Newey. And that is where this story gets incredibly suspicious. Think about this for a second. Adrian Newey, the man who visualizes air, the man who has spent his entire life hunched over a drawing board. Can you genuinely imagine Adrian Newey sitting in the FIA team principal's press conference every Friday? Can you see him dealing with sponsors, managing HR issues, and answering inane questions from the media? Newey has historically detested the political and managerial side of F1. His sole focus is making the car go faster. Right now, Aston Martin is facing its biggest challenge yet, the AMR 26, the car for the new 2026 regulations. This project is at a critical milestone. Newey's brain needs to be 100% focused on aerodynamics and chassis design. So why on earth would he accept the role of team principal? Why would a technical genius who carries the weight of the team's performance waste his time being a team boss? The report suggests that this scenario is inconceivable as a long-term solution. He does not want to be the public face of the team. The only logical conclusion is this: Adrian Newey is not the team principal because he wants to be. He is the team principal because he is holding the door open for someone else. Look at the structure of Aston Martin right now. Andy Cowell is now Chief Strategy Officer. Mike Krack is Chief Trackside Officer. But the role of CEO is currently conspicuously vacant. Ever since Martin Whitmarsh left, that CEO seat has been empty. If Newey is the temporary team principal and the CEO spot is open, who is Lawrence Stroll waiting for? The answer is simple: Christian Horner. His exit from Red Bull was controversial, and he is currently serving his gardening leave. But the details that are now leaking out suggest that Horner planned his exit with surgical precision. According to reports, Horner negotiated an early release from Red Bull in exchange for a payout of around $100 million. But here is the catch: he could have walked away with even more money. Horner reportedly sacrificed a larger payout in exchange for a specific clause: the ability to return to F1 sooner. Why? Why would anyone leave millions of dollars on the table unless they had a concrete plan? Christian Horner wants to return, but he isn't looking for a job. He isn't going to come back just to be a salaried employee. At Red Bull, he was the boss for 2 decades. For his next move, he wants equity. He wants to own a piece of the pie, and Lawrence Stroll is the only team owner audacious enough to offer that. Lawrence has already given shares to Adrian Newey. Now, the rumors are strong that he is willing to offer Christian Horner an ownership stake as well. Adrian Newey as technical partner and co-owner, Christian Horner as CEO or team principal and co-owner, and Lawrence Stroll as chairman. This would instantly become the most powerful management trio in Formula One. I know what some of you are thinking, but didn't Horner and Newey have a falling out? The rumors all year suggested that the power struggle at Red Bull destroyed their relationship. However, this new report completely debunks that myth. Sources close to the situation state that the rumors of bad blood were greatly exaggerated. In reality, the two remain friends. Their relationship is fully repaired. Adrian Newey is a pragmatist. He knows that he does his best work when he doesn't have to worry about politics. At Red Bull, Horner was his shield. Horner took all the bullets from the media and the corporate board so that Newey could work in peace. Right now, at Aston Martin, Newey is being forced to hold the shield himself, and he likely hates it. He needs his partner back. He needs his political operator. This theory aligns perfectly. Newey has stepped in as team principal to stabilize the ship just long enough for Horner's gardening leave to end. As soon as Horner is legally allowed to work again in 2026, he walks into Aston Martin, takes the CEO and team principal titles, and Newey goes back to his drawing board, where he belongs. The demotion of Cowell, the empty CEO seat, and Newey's reluctance to lead publicly. All the pieces are on the board. So, the picture is becoming clear. Aston Martin isn't just building a car for 2026, they are rebuilding the Red Bull 2.0 management structure. Lawrence Stroll has realized that money alone doesn't win championships. Culture does. To build that culture, he stole Red Bull's brain, Newey, and now he is preparing to bring in Red Bull's leader, Horner. The only question remaining is, what happens to Andy Cowell? Will he quietly work in his new strategy role, or will he eventually leave the team entirely, just as Martin Whitmarsh did? The report suggests he might just quietly slide away once the spotlight moves on. But the real excitement is in the future. If we see Adrian Newey and Christian Horner standing together in the Aston Martin garage in 2026, it will be the greatest comeback in F1 history. What do you guys think? Is Adrian Newey just keeping the seat warm for Horner, or is this just wild speculation? And if Horner does join, does that mean Max Verstappen is next? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more F1 analysis.